We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council.
Hello, everyone. We'll be starting a session shortly as more participants are joining us. So we'll be starting it in the next few minutes. Thank you very much. Stay connected.
Your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices.
All right, we'll be starting a session now. Just allow me to share my screen. Hope my screen is visible to you all, and thank you very much for joining today's last session. And I welcome you all to GSDC Certified Learning, Mastering SRE for Scalable and Resilient System, with the theme that is driving reliability and scalability with SRE best practices. My name is Preetham. If you need any assistance during the session, you can reach out to me over the chat box. So we are very grateful that we had this amazing panel of speaker aligned for this entire webinar series, which was started from 1st September to the 12th September. Today we'll be having the last session. Thank you everyone for supporting us throughout the webinar series. And today I'm very proud to inform you all, today we'll be having a session with Daniel Murphy. He's a head of SRE at PwC UK, and he'll be presenting the topic that is AI-driven transformation in SRE and cloud engineering. So before you could start, I would love to introduce our hosting organization. We known as Global Skill Development Council. We are vendor agnostic, vendor neutral. We are globally recognized certification body. We are accredited by NSI and ABICB. Also, we have a 100+ certification portfolio with us, and we have certified more than 250,000 professionals worldwide. We have 500 SMEs that work with us closely to design our deliverables, and they're affiliates from top universities like Harvard, Stanford, MIT. And also, we are associated with 1,000 multinational corporates and 500 Fortune companies and 50+ universities across the globe. And I'm very proud to inform you all that we do have 100+ authorized training partner across the globe. We have partner in Asia, Africa, Canada, and America, and many other countries. So would love to thank you those who have joined us through our training partner channel. If you're looking for any training program for yourself, I'll be sharing the link in the chat box so you can get in touch with our training partner to inquire about the training programs that you're looking for yourself. Special thanks to our official media partner who covers all our press releases, events, World Press Hub. So as I mentioned earlier in my previous slide that we do have 100+ certification portfolio, which includes certification on generative AI, agentic AI, learning and development professionals, instructional designer, HR professionals, PMO related certification, generative AI and project management, cybersecurity, risk and compliance, and certifications related ISO. So do grab this opportunity, sign up yourself for this. If you need any assistance with this, you can get in touch with our learning advisor, or you can explore our website to check all the offerings that GSDC has for all of you. That is www.gsdcouncil.org. What benefits you will be getting if you opt out for the GSDC certification? You will be a GSDC's member for a lifelong. Along with that, you will be getting certificate upgrade, and you will be having access to all our events, workshop, boot camps, and guess what? You will be having access to all our exclusive learning programs that we do have. And along with that, you will be getting implementation resources, speaker invites, and newsletters. So isn't it great? Do grab this opportunity and do sign up yourself for this amazing certification program. So without any further delay, let's understand more about our today's speaker. So Daniel Murphy is a head of site reliability engineering at PwC UK, with extensive experience in designing and operating high availability cloud infrastructure and scalable engineering system. He thrives on driving reliability and performance in mission critical environments. So Daniel has a proven track record of delivering robust solution in fast paced corporate context, combining strong leadership with deep technical expertise to enable teams to build resilient digital platform aligned with business goals. So we are honored to have Daniel join us as host, bringing his wealth of expertise and leadership to the session. Thank you very much, Daniel, for joining us today. You can take the virtual speaker now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I present my screen, please? Is that okay?
Yes, sure.
Excellent. 2 seconds. Now, can you see it okay?
Yes, we can say
Yeah,
it. I can.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. First and foremost, I'm privileged and honoured that GSDC reached out to me to ask for me to speak at this event. Any opportunity I have to speak about SRE and cloud technologies and transformation is always a blessing for me. So I really appreciate the opportunity. A little bit about myself then. Yes, Daniel Murphy. I'm head of SRE PwC. I've been here for about 4 years now then as well. And then previous to PwC, I was implementing SRE into a range of organizations, typically worldwide vendors of ERP software, a couple of startups then as well. I've been in technology for around 20 years. I started out from the very, very bottom, on the service desk, answering phone calls, fixing printers, the first stuff you do whenever you get your first job at a university then as well. And through 20 years of practice and upskilling then as well, I've found myself in a position of senior manager and head of SRE in a massive organization then as well. I've worked in quite a few different industries throughout my years. So I've worked in pharma, I've worked with defense, military then as well, highly secure environments. I've worked with really fast-paced kind of brokerage, banking, transactional environments then as well, and the insurance industry. I am and will always be a hands-on technical manager and technical engineer. I'm currently tri-cloud certified architect, so that means I can architect on Azure, AWS, and GCP, and that's the way I want to keep it. If I want to lead a team, I need to understand the context and the subject matter as well. So I always want to be a technical manager that leads from the front, be willing to roll up my sleeves and get involved if and when is needed then as well. So yes, let's move on to today's topic. Today, we're going to be covering quite a few different things as well. So I'm going to shift around quite a bit, but I'm going to try to bring it all back. The talk today is all about using AI to enhance, improve, and to fast track engineers' abilities to do their jobs and to achieve organizational goals and gains through the use of AI then as well. And I'm going to cover SRE, DevOps, platform engineering, and cloud engineering as well, because they're all related in some kind of way, depending on your organization and the scale of what you're working with then as well. Sometimes you will be an SRE engineer and a DevOps engineer, or sometimes you're a platform engineer that also does a lot of cloud work then as well. So all four of those fields are intricately connected then as well. So first, I'm going to start off with key SRE engineering practices and how AI can help them, and then we're going to dive more into some more of the details, but those practices themselves and how that actually is going to work in reality and in real life then as well. And then I'm going to share some of my previous stories and some of my good wins I've had in my life as where we've enacted AI into our cloud engineering environments then as well, and the impact that had, not just on the engineers, but also on the business and its profitability and how well it performs. Then we're going to pivot slightly to look more at the cloud engineering space then as well. We're going to look at sort of cloud engineering best practices when it comes to not only implementing AI, but then using that AI to achieve results then as well. And then I'll try to bring it all together. Please reach out if you have any questions as we go along. I will periodically check the chat then as well. And I believe there is a session at the end for Q&A. So let me just check the chat real quick to see, make sure there's no questions. No, you're a chatty bunch. Perfect. I'm going to move on. Now, key SRE engineering practices. Sorry, there's so many little pop-ups and it's hard to see actually what's on screen. So first and foremost, I probably should explain the two terms, MTTR and toil. Toil is loosely defined as any kind of repetitive task that you do over and over again. Think of like filling out a spreadsheet or, clicking the same button 20 times so you get to the end of a form then as well. Toil is monotonous, repetitive tasks, and the more they occur, the more they are considered toil then as well. MTTR is mean time to recovery. Essentially, if there has been a break or an outage, it's how long it takes to recover to get to a good point or a safe point in your systems then as well. So these are two things which SRE engineers are primarily focused on then as well. So apologies, there's so many wee pop-ups my way. I need to move this bar out of my way. Oh, there we go. Move it down the bottom. Perfect. Yes, breaking the cycle of toil. On a day-to-day basis, you're going to be firefighting, you're going to be executing your job, you're going to be performing so many different tasks that sometimes it's hard to sort of step back and take a strategic look at what's going on then as well. Being stuck in toil and being stuck in the weeds of trying to fix problems and issues. You never get a chance to sort of address the overall issue as to what's actually causing this to begin with. So SRE engineers, one of their primary tasks is being able to step back and to stop the problem at its root instead of just trying to live with that problem over time then as well. So developing AI bots is an absolutely prime example of where we can do this. If there is some kind of repetitive task that is fairly easy, fairly mundane as well, building a bot that can take information from one point to another input data can save millions of hours over years then as well. Alert triage and automation. The modern cloud is pretty much entirely code-based at this point, and so you can essentially monitor on and alert on millions of metrics within the modern cloud then as well. So it's impossible for any one human to look at all these alerts and monitors that are coming through and filter out what is good and what is bad. So you're always going to have this sort of gray area of alerts coming through, which are going to get missed. So being able to train an AI model to essentially look through your alerts and everything that's coming through and base that on historic previous data then as well on what was an important alert and what was not an important alert can massively help any end-line engineers to understand what is actually quality and what is not quality, for use of a better word. Runbooks. Now, there's two elements to runbooks here. There is making the runbooks, and then there is executing the runbooks. If you are firefighting and you're really busy in your day-to-day job, you're never going to have time to actually sit down and document a process and to what you're actually doing to achieve your job then as well. AI can essentially be there as a shadow for you. So it can essentially look at what you're doing and record the steps along the way and produce runbooks on your behalf. Taking that a step further then as well, you can get runbooks that are automatically executed. So if a trigger is, if your alerting software gets triggered because there has been a particular event and there is a runbook that has been designed to counteract that event and to neutralize it then as well, you can automatically get your AI to execute runbooks on your behalf. But as always, this will require a human oversight then as well. Humans are always going to be involved in this process. And I know there's been a lot of fear in the recently about humans losing their jobs to AI. I see that as happening, yes, but then I also see new jobs being created then as well. Sort of AI oversight or AI orchestration then as well. Sort of new roles that are coming in where essentially an SRE engineer or any kind of engineer with an AI focus then as well. It's part of their job is to maintain the orchestration of these bots and these playbooks and these runbooks and all these different orchestrations that we have going on then as well. Moving on. Proactive reliability and anomaly detection. If you are in that kind of reactive state where you're always constantly firefighting and trying to maintain the systems and maintain that status quo, you're never going to get to the proactive stage then as well. SRE engineers are all about trying to move from reactive to proactive. And this basically means that we've moved beyond a point where we can deal with everything that's coming in and we're happy with everything that's coming in and we can maintain that. Now we're looking at preventing issues before they ever become issues. So automation enables practices, proactive reliability of detecting issues before they impact systems, improving uptime and performance then as well. What this means for us is that AI can be a proactive factor for us then as well. You can use AI to be essentially on the offensive instead of always being on the defensive then as well. Anomaly detection benefits. As I mentioned in the past, humans are good at detecting anomalous signals. It's something for us to easily detect. If something looks out of place or something looks odd, it's hard for logic and for code to pick up on that unless it's hard code into that. We're getting to the point now where AI has got so good, it's thinking more like a human does. I'll give you an example. Say you're running a Kubernetes cluster and the Kubernetes cluster has 50 nodes within it, and you build in a tolerance of 10% of failure rate then as well. So that means that 5 nodes out of 50 are allowed to be offline or to be down or to be, maybe doing updates then at any one time. So at any one time, you're allowed to have 5 out of 50 offline. If one node goes offline, nothing's going to happen. If 5 nodes go offline at one time, that's odd. That would strike me as odd. But because it's actually in your logic that that's allowed to happen, it's never going to get picked up or detected by your monitoring and alerting software. But a human wouldn't notice that. And now we're training AIs and LLMs to be able to pick up on that kind of logic then as well, that 1 is okay, 5 is okay if it happens over a period of time, but 5 at once, that's anomalous. So an AI can be trained to look at historic incidents in the past and the way sort of different things have happened to be able to pick up on more anomalous signals than it was ever able to do before. This is a feature and a function that we just have never had before. Context aware then as well. So previous alerting and monitoring was always based on logic. It was based on if X happens, do Y, or if X happens, or if A takes 20 minutes to execute, execute B kind of thing then as well. And it was this kind of really sort of program-based logic then as well. AIs are a lot more context aware. I'll give you an example. Say you're running an e-commerce store that sells Christmas decorations, and essentially your shop is going to do pretty much no traffic throughout the months of January to November. But then from November to December, it's going to get extremely busy. But if there is a massive spike in the middle of summer, then there's something strange going on there and then as well. That's something that a human would pick up, and then that's something that a human would have the context to be aware of it. That it, during the summer months, there should be no traffic on this website. It's all Christmas stuff that we're selling here then as well. So, and you can now train AI to be context aware. So the AI can essentially look over the previous years or multiple years of kind of traffic and understand and see that, okay, well, last August we had absolutely no traffic during this time period, and now we got a massive spike in traffic. There's something strange going on here. This might be a DDoS attack, and essentially it can alert a human, and it can essentially try to mitigate that issue then as well straight away. Moving on, empowering individual contributors to use AI tools. So there's many different ways you can implement AI in an organization, but the solo engineer is going to be essentially the person using it, the person with the hands on keyboard, hands on the ground. And essentially building AI tools enables solo engineers to develop individual solutions independently, increasing productivity and creativity. Google very famously gives all its engineering staff Wednesday afternoons off. And essentially during those, 3 or 4 hours, they can work on whatever side project they want. We all don't have the luxury for working at Google. I know I don't, and I don't get Wednesday afternoons off. But it is important to give your engineers time to be engineers and to work on projects that are slightly outside of what they're working on a day-to-day basis. I try to always have my engineers working at about 80% capacity, leaving that 20% for, your paperwork and administration you're going to have to do, your timesheet submissions then as well, any kind of training or compliance tasks that you do as well. And then maybe 20% then as well can also be used for, looking at what's going on day-to-day basis and seeing if there's a way they can implement AI to sort of stop a lot of these issues happening and to sort of speed up productivity and increase efficiency. Prototyping with AI. AI can build anything extremely quickly. In the past, if you wanted to build an application that sat and worked on your cloud environment then as well, you're probably going to have to drag in a developer to give you some kind of Java or Node.js or Python scripting experience then as well. I know SRE engineers do typically come from either an infrastructure background or a coding background, but they're not really coders by trade. So it really slows down the process when you actually have to reach out to developers, say, can you build this for me? This is what I want. This is how I want it to look and feel. That developer will be busy, or they could be sort of tied up with other tasks then as well. Being able to use tools like AWS Code Whisperer, the likes of Cursor and Windsurf then as well, which are complete coders from start to finish and can help you even with the deployment of your code then as well. If you tell it, this is the issue I'm having, can you build me an application to do X, Y, and Z for me? It will build you that. So you can rapidly prototype things in minutes. In the past, that would have probably taken months to do. Also, no code has become a big thing then as well, and workflow deployment and management. In the past, if you wanted to build a workflow then as well, it probably would have required a bit of background into some kind of programming language then as well. You maybe had to use like a third-party tool like Alteryx or Path UI, all of those kind of applications then as well. No longer. Essentially, you can use plain English text or whatever language that you use, and give it command prompts, and it can go off and build an application for you in relative no time then as well. Massive advances in all of the major AI platforms. So you're talking like your Gemini, your ChatGPT, have all had these functionalities built in there as well, where they become sort of coding agents as well as their normal functionality as being LLMs. Moving on, transitioning from firefighting to proactive. And this is, when it happens, one of the best things that can ever happen in an engineer. If you imagine your job is stressful and is high paced and you really can't wait for your day to end, imagine the next day you go into work where your workload is reduced by 50% and you've got all this free time in your hands and you use that free time to do other tasks to help the business in other ways then as well. We should always have OKRs and KPIs tied to the overall goals of the organization then as well, so that you know that what you're doing on a daily basis is helping your organization achieve whatever its goals are. So shifting from the reactive to the proactive then as well. So this approach involves the reactive firefighting approach. Sorry, apologies. This essentially frees up engineers to do more important tasks and tasks that require human brain power that you typically wouldn't have had because you're so busy just trying to keep the lights on. Solo innovation and automation. So individual contributors can leverage code generation agents and non-code orchestration to rapidly deploy impactful tools adequately. And this is essentially fast-tracking innovation. What would have taken months in the past to bring up a list of requirements, to then take that list of requirements to a software development team to get them to build an application and then go through several iterations before it was sort of proved worthy. Even at that point, it might not even, the problem it was solving might have moved so far past it that what it's actually built is no longer needed. So this fast track approach to innovation then as well has massively helped us shift from the reactive to the proactive. Now, I touched on the past there briefly, how the role of the modern engineer is changing massively with AI, and now we're moving away from the typical kind of infrastructure engineers, and we're bringing out new roles like AI orchestration engineer, AI or architects as well. All these senior new roles are starting where they never would have been in the past. And also one of the roles as an SRE engineer is going to be administering, building AI then as well within your modern cloud environment. So um, what this basically means is that we're going to shift away from being hands-on keyboard engineers to being orchestrators, where an SRE engineer will build tools, deploy these tools that would have, been leveraging some kind of AI element, and essentially will maintain and monitor these tools. So they will essentially gain an understanding of the software development lifecycle, because everything is going to be code related and code driven. See, we've got a question there. No. So yes, SRE engineers are going to essentially wear another hat, and that hat essentially is going to be an orchestration hat where they will maintain and update either AI bots that they've built or orchestration tools that they've created then as well to manage these things throughout the environment. Because if you're going to build it, you have to maintain it. That's one of the key principles of DevOps, is that no longer can you build something, throw it over to the next team and forget about it. If you build something, it's yours to own and maintain for the length of whatever that's going to be. No. Culture. I've said this in many talks in the past. Culture is by far the hardest element to change inside any organization. You can change your management team, you can change your organizational structure, you can change your engineering team, you can change any one or even any group of people. But the culture of an organization is by far the hardest element to change. So bringing AI into your organization is a massive cultural change then as well. If there is an entire team of data engineers that are inputting data on a day-to-day basis, and they're going to be made redundant by relatively easy to build AI bots then as well, that's going to have a massive cultural impact on your organization then as well. Bringing AI into your organization, it's going to be affected on three distinct layers. It's going to be at the bottom layer, which is the engineering-led innovation layer. Essentially, that's where I sit. Then there is the management layer then as well, or middle management or technical lead. And then there is the CTO layer at the top, or essentially the senior leadership team. Basically, every organization is pyramid shaped, with the bulk of the people being at the engineering layer, smaller number being at the management layer, and then a very few at the very top then as well. And that's true for, even a 5-person startup, or for like even the company I work for, which is, I think, 90,000 people globally. It has that kind of pyramid approach to it then as well. Changing the culture within that organization is going to be different for each one of those layers then as well. The easiest way to change culture essentially is top down. So that's with the CTO making this decision, right? We're going to be an AI first organization then as well. So he will gather around his management level and say, this is what we're going to do. He'll explain it to them, he'll invest in it, he'll create in funding, they'll take in the correct tools, and they'll tell the managers, this is what we're doing, and this is how we're going to do it. And then that management layer is going to go to its engineering teams and engineers and say, okay, this is the direction we've been given. This is the focus we have. We're going to be an AI focused organization. These are the new tools we have. Let's all start using this on a day-to-day basis. That is the easiest one to achieve. It's also one of the rarest then as well. These kind of changes typically always start out at the engineering layer. So it's going to be the people working on a day-to-day basis who are the ones who want to bring in these tools or want to bring in advanced technologies to make their lives better. So an engineering team trying to adopt AI whenever the management layer is resistant to it as well. Another element to this is that if an engineer brings in something saying this is great and brings it to his manager might be resentful because he didn't come up with this idea. So he's going to want to essentially rephrase it so that it looks like it's been his idea all along. And so the management layer then can say like, oh, look at these amazing things we built using AI. And then they can try to take it to the CTO layer and can try to convince them of why this is a good idea and why they should adopt this approach. I'll go into that in a wee bit more detail. So navigating organizational culture and scale as well. So organizational frictions, I refer to them as politics or internal politics within an organization then as well. And they can stifle innovation and they can really grind things to an absolute halt. If you're pushing against an open door, you're going to have no issues. But a lot of times then as well, people are comfortable, people are happy with what they're doing, and they don't want something that's really disruptive coming in, massive change in how everything is done. And you're probably going to, have to retrain staff or reposition staff that were previously doing tasks that AI is going to change. Bottom-up innovation. So I have actually developed a framework for bottom-up innovation, and the way the engineering layer can take in new technologies, take in new concepts, and take in new prototyping, and essentially float that, essentially a way of how they can take that in and get that essentially instilled into their organization, how they can use that. And this is it. Now it's a little wordy, so I'll try to bring it to life with a bit of context then as well. So discover and prioritize the highest one or two tile tasks. So if you look at across your ticket queue or your ServiceNow queue, whatever sort of system you use for sort of tracking work done as well, and you try to group things together and you say like, okay, well, these last 50 alerts were all because of firewall issues, or these last 100 alerts were all because our VPNs are sort of constantly up and down as well. You need to pick one or two things that are essentially are the most common things then as well, and take up the most time. And they need to be repetitive and they need to be reoccurring all the time then as well. And this is where you bring in some rapid prototyping then as well. So you're using like a coding agent then as well, which is going to essentially build something for you that is going to solve the underlying problem as to why all these alerts are getting created. You're going to make a controlled pilot. And when I say a controlled pilot is you're going to do this in a safe place. We all have access to like testing environments, dev and staging then as well. Essentially, you're going to create an environment where you have as close to real life and as to production as you can. And you're going to take whatever you've built to solve your underlying problem and you're going to deploy it there. If you can run it in parallel with the way things are in the real world, show that, okay, with my tool in place, this would have reduced, ticket count by 50%. So you have to run it in a controlled environment then as well. And then you need to do the hard part. You have to socialize it. I know we are all engineers and we're quite a wee bit introverted then as well. So we're not really sort of salespeople by trade. So essentially, you need to find a way that you're going to promote this across the organization then as well. And there's lots of different ways you can do that. You can just directly go up to people and say, look at this thing that I've done, or you can create a video which sort of shows how it works and its overall effect, and make it sort of fun and interactive. At least you can send that around and link to everybody in your organization, or you can run sort of lunchtime learning sessions. I think in America they're referred to as brown paper bag lunches or lunch and learns, where essentially you give a presentation over lunch while people are sitting having their lunch then as well. So they're not missing out on lunch, but they're also learning something and they're circulating your idea then as well. Then once your idea is sort of taken root in people's minds, hopefully in the engineer layer, and it's maybe even got as far as the CTO layer then as well, start to standardize and expand a bit on it then as well, because anytime something is built, it's built for one function and it's always a bit rough. So maybe as a standardization approach, you could change the UI to reflect the color scheme of the organization then as well. And you might need to do several iterations where you make it probably a bit more secure than what it is, and you sort of refine your idea a bit more. But the idea is that after this phase then as well, it's working. It's in a good enough state that you can actually start using it in the real world. And that's the next step, is deploying it into practice then as well. And then continuous improvement. So if you're going to build it, you're going to own it. So you're going to sort of see as it learns and as it grows and as it sort of takes in more and more information, how it's going to react to this. And you need to react to this and essentially to constantly improve it as it goes forward. This will form the basis for your orchestration and one of the AI tools that you have built then as well, and you will manage going forward. And then success signals, yes. So everything needs to be measurable. So if it can lower MTTR, if it can reduce alert noise, if it can reduce your overall ticket count down as well, you need to be able to show that. And then that is perfect evidence for if you ever do need to go in front of the senior engineering team or your CTO of your organization and say, look at what I built. This is what I've done. This is the metrics to back up my what it has done then as well. So yes, that is my very rough way of essentially winning over the hearts and minds of organization from the bottom up. Now I'm going to pause there real quickly for any questions. Let me just get a chance to read the chat. No, I don't think it's in there yet. So yes, AI-driven SRE practices. Now, we're about 10, 15 minutes in. I don't think I've really mentioned DevOps so far yet, and I don't think I've mentioned platform engineering. So while I have been speaking quite heavily about SRE, the same issues, the same methodology is actually the same for platform engineers and DevOps engineers then as well. So SRE engineers, platform engineers share a lot of common traits then as well. They're both working on the cloud environment. Platform engineers are far more focused on provisioning and essentially building things that the rest of the organization can use as a one-click kind of deployment then as well. So these engineers aim to reduce toil and burnout while enhancing the incident management using AI tools and standardization then as well. Like there's a key word in that word is burnout. If engineering teams are so under pressure just to do their job, you will have burnout, and burnout is going to lead to high staff turnover then as well. So this implementation of AI can actually massively help when it comes to staff retention in your organization. DevOps and infrastructure teams, so they focus more on automating operations, integrating AI into daily workflows, and improving efficiency and systems then as well. So while DevOps engineers are heavily focused on DevOps concepts and deployment processes then as well, the implementation of AI is pretty much the exact same for them then as well. If they are deploying maybe every 2 weeks and they want to get to a better state of deployment then as well, AI can massively help when it comes to those kind of workflow deployments and how they're utilized in an organization. The engineering managers and tech leads, again, this really depends on the size and scale of your organization. If your organization is quite large, your engineering management level is probably non-technical, or essentially they've left their technical skills behind and moved purely into people management. Whereas tech leads are sort of more like myself, they're sort of more hands-on keyboard, working with their teams on a day-to-day basis and as well. So a slightly different approach depending on which kind of management team you're sort of dealing with. And they focus on empowering engineers through AI-driven innovation then as well. So essentially, the management layer should be the ones really pushing the engineering layer to adopt AI, to use these tools then as well, and because it will help them as a management team overall. And then they should also be responsible for the monitoring of them as well, sort of seeing what the adoption for AI then as well, like are the engineers using it, and sort of seeing how each one of them is using it to achieve whatever goal or task they're trying to achieve. Moving then to the next level, you're looking at the CTO and the executive then level as well. So they're focused on the strategic, the really high level and sort of the overall goals of the organization then as well. So if they have put AI as being one of their primary goals then as well, it's up to them to essentially to come up with ways and metrics to be able to measure how well it's been implemented in an organization. And if they do need to change direction and change approach to implementing then as well, it's really for that kind of executive level then as well. Individual contributors and builders then as well. So yes, if you have a side project or you find something intriguing and you think that it might be worthwhile exploring that as well, it's always about trying to make time in your day-to-day life. I always believe in a good work-life balance. So if you can't get your job done and find a bit of time for innovation on a day-to-day basis then as well, you should go speak to your manager then as well. Engineers should always be given time to innovate. Yeah. We're going to move on to talk more about the cloud engineering space because it does differ quite a bit from the SRE space then as well. SRE engineers and cloud engineers are similar in a lot of ways. It depends on your organization, I suppose, as to how and where they deploy the SRE engineering teams. But a cloud engineering team is a bit more routine, and a bit more sort of set in what they do. Essentially, they look after your cloud infrastructure. They look after your networking then as well. Depending on the size and scale, they might look after your security then as well. Again, depending on the size of your organization, they might look after your databases then as well. But essentially, there's 4 or 5 key elements that any cloud team will always be responsible for then as well. Like any team, they're going to have goals. They're going to have metrics which they're always measured against, and one of them is always going to be reliability. So that's your uptime, and if you're hitting your 5 nines of reliability of your systems then as well. So cloud engineers manage large-scale infrastructure and handle operational incidents that increase workload and complexity. They deal with toil as well. There's no avoiding toil when it comes to the cloud environment, but this is one place that AI can massively help in. So repetitive organizational tasks drain productivity and creativity um, from the cloud engineering team. Injecting AI automation into toil accelerates innovation, empowers cloud engineers and superpowers. So in much the same way that it did for the SRE team, if you can reduce down the amount of time it takes to do a task by using an AI tool then as well, that time can be used somewhere else. One of the most valuable resources in any organization is its brain power that the organization has then as well. And if it's taken up doing mundane, repetitive tasks, you're really not being as efficient as you can be then as well. So building and deploying, developing AI-driven tools in a cloud reliability environment then as well. So this is broadly similar to the way SRE would implement AI tools, but it's more specific, more focused on what the cloud has to offer then as well. So automating runbooks and alert triage and reduces manual toil, improves cloud reliability significantly then as well. In your typical cloud environment, you're going to have Kubernetes, you're going to have EC2s or VMs or whatever kind of server infrastructure then as well, and you're going to have stores then as well. A lot of the times, these are very repetitive tasks, and it's something that you can build a runbook for. And if you can build a runbook, AI can build a runbook, essentially shadowing you, and then AI can execute that runbook depending on whatever alert or task is triggered then as well. Modern alerting technology has got extremely good. If you look at the likes of New Relic or Datadog then as well, you essentially can set up it as your monitoring platform. You can then essentially take any monitor, set a trigger on it, and off that trigger, you can get it to execute a payload. And that payload can be whatever you want it to be. It can be a .bat script, or it can be a full runbook deployment that an AI agent is responsible for then as well. And again, cloud developers, not unlike the SRE engineers, rapid prototyping and development then as well. So yeah, they can use any of those kind of orchestration tools to build and maintain any kind of AI tools and elements that are going to massively help them do their job. One of the biggest concerns of a cloud engineer is scaling then as well. So if you're working for the likes of Ticketmaster and Taylor Swift is going to have a new concert, Ticketmaster's infrastructure needs to scale to accommodate multiple millions of people then as well. So scaling is always at the back of the mind. If you work for any kind of environment that is 9 to 5 based then as well, you want to run lean, you want to turn everything off at night and bring it back up automatically then as well. Or if your workflows only work over the weekend then as well, and being able to scale up and down as well is one of the primary tasks of a good cloud engineer. So engineering-led innovation. Engineer-driven innovation often sparks innovation, but requires strategic support to scale within the enterprise. So yes, engineers come up with good ideas, but for them to go company-wide then as well, it is going to require that sort of bottom-up approach we spoke about previously. The middle management inertia can also slow innovation adoption. It requires proactive engagement to overcome. So yes, management sometimes just want to maintain the status quo. They want to maintain everything that's going on and essentially keep things the way they are. So there can sometimes be this hesitation or reluctance from the middle management layer to fully embrace what the engineers are telling them as well. So this is where you really do need to start selling what you've built, how it's going to help your organization. And then lastly, the CTO sponsorship. So the CTO level sponsorship is critical in championing AI. If you are privileged that your CTO is forward thinking and wants to bring in AI, then it's going to come from the top down. But if not, and you have to do it yourself in the engineering level, convince the management level, and then eventually convince the CTO level, I think you deserve a raise if you can accomplish all that. But CTO buy-in is critical because then he can add it to their strategic roadmap for themselves going forward. I'm just going to stop there and check real quickly for any questions. See, there was some movement in the chat. How can we use AI for fixing production issues on the fly? It depends on the production issue. If it is a reoccurring common production issue, then yes, we can absolutely use it. I'll take, for instance, a C drive filling up on a server. This does happen from time to time. A log file becomes full. It's something that essentially you can base a trigger off then as well. If your C drive becomes full, and then you essentially build a script in the background to execute a script that will expand the C drive of whatever server is having the issue then as well. You can use AI to build a script for you. It's context aware then as well. So it's going to be able to execute that AI built script off a predefined set of triggers then as well. So it depends. That's why I said you always need to start with your highest ticket volume to lowest ticket volumes. If it's reoccurring tasks that has occurred in the past, then AI can learn from them. There's nothing to stop you pointing AI at your entire ticket history and letting it consume that as a source and retrain itself on a source then as well. My SRE engineering teams all work off the same LLM. And anytime we come across any issues with it, whether it gives us a bad piece of Terraform code, we tell it it's wrong. We tell it why it's wrong, and then we help it fix that issue. So actually 2 years in from using the same LLM, it is amazing at helping us generate Terraform code and build YAML files to do whatever we need to do on a daily basis then as well. So yes, fixing things on the fly, start with the most reoccurring issues then as well. Rapid prototyping then as well. If you do need to, put in a code fix or something, and there isn't a developer on hand to assist you with that code fix then as well, run it through, the likes of Copilot then as well, and it will, get your code to probably a 90% level. That's nearly good enough to sort of deploy in for you into production. Now, blueprints and lessons for modern cloud engineers then as well. So cloud platform management, essentially the effective management of cloud platforms is essential for the scalability and operation efficiency in modern engineering. The infrastructure automation then as well, which has become big in the last number of years, it's essentially taking that a step further then as well. It's applying that kind of AI logic that is based on business logic or based on previous historic data then as well. And, integrating AI into engineering or cloud stacks as well to help decision making and system optimization. Even silly things like you might think it's mundane then as well, but imagine you do have an incident and things are going wrong and 2 or 3 people get onto a Teams chat or a Zoom chat then as well, and they're trying to resolve that issue. Enable your AI agent to essentially watch what you're doing then as well and to essentially document what you're doing then as well. So whenever it gets the incident get resolved, you're going to have a perfect transcript of every step you took to try resolve that issue. You can take that, plug it directly back into your LLM, and it can learn from that for the next time around. So imagine you have the same incident 6 months down the line, and nobody can quite remember what the steps were because you didn't document them at the time. But your AI has documented them, and it can actually tell you, oh, 6 months ago you had this issue. Instead of going back through tickets and searching for keywords then as well, LLMs are 1,000 times better than any search we currently have available. Let me click on here. So let me check myself for time. Okay, or 45 minutes. Now, key cloud engineering practices as well. Automating toil, alert management, and cloud operations then as well. So yes, reducing alert noise. I think I mentioned this in the past. The cloud is essentially all code based then as well. You can build millions of metrics or you can extract millions of metrics out of your cloud their environment then as well. And so sometimes you nearly have to do this for deployment purposes then as well. Sometimes you do need to monitor everything about your cloud, but you're going to have so much noise in there and essentially it becomes what is known as alert fatigue. I am guilty of having a folder in my inbox that all my alerts go into that I just never look at. If something is broken, somebody's going to come and tell me that, or else I'm going to see a message in Teams or something, my phone's going to ring then as well. So using AI to reduce alert noise then as well. So essentially what it does is it's going to take in all the alerts, all the false positives then as well, and it's going to compare them to how things are looking in your monitoring environment currently and how things were this time last year or how things were this time last week then as well. It's going to look at the historic, it's going to look at things going on currently, and it's going to compare the two and try and work out if some of these what we would sort of ignore as alerts are actual genuine concerns then as well. It means that the engineers don't need to scroll through thousands of alerts on a daily basis trying to pinpoint the one that might be an issue to them then as well. AI can then sort of set the priority then as well as sort of 123 or P123 or whatever your grading system is then as well. Automated remediation then as well. So this is that real sort of proactive approach to it then as well. It's addressing issues before they're actually issues so that they never get to the point where they become feeders, so they become outages in your organization then as well. And empowering cloud engineers. I'm a big believer in giving people the tools to achieve their job and everything they need to do. I never want my engineers coming to me asking me questions that I know they should be able to answer themselves. They can come to me for a second opinion, but if they come to me asking, "Oh, is it okay if I use this tool to do this thing?" Then that's not my job. They should be empowered to make those decisions. If they think that they can build something better than what's there, then I will absolutely support those decisions then as well. You should be giving them every bit of training that they need, every tool that they need. If they need to buy in third-party tools to help them do their job better, then absolutely. It's a small cost that's going to get you a massive gain overall. It's also going to lead to happier engineers, and happier engineers are more productive engineers. Now, proactive reliability, intelligent root cause analysis. I don't know if anybody in this call has ever been through a proper root cause analysis process. It can be quite painful. So if an incident occurs, you're going to essentially have to get together a team to sort of resolve that issue. You can call it whatever you want, a blue team or a black team or create a war room then as well. In larger, more well-structured organizations, you're going to have somebody that essentially is purely there to document things and purely there to assist in the war room effort. And what they do essentially is document line by line. Stephen said this, Bob said that, Jake said that, everything that went on. Um, and then bring in more engineers as they need them, and essentially sort of coordinate whoever is sort of managing the incident then as well. AI is going to absolutely overtake when it comes to that role then as well. It can essentially respond to anything that's coming in, and you can give a task and get it as well. It can also summarize these notes and get a summary done within a couple of minutes, whereas a person creating an RCA document would spend maybe half a day actually document everything, putting in the correct format then as well, and circulating with the team then as well. Anomaly detection, I think I hinted on this in the past, but my Kubernetes analogy of 50 Kubernetes cluster, 50 node cluster, and sort of failure of one is fine. 5 failing at once is anomalous then as well. Now AI is getting to that stage where it's actually getting far better at anomaly detection then as well, and intelligent root cause analysis. So if an incident occurs out of hours, and there has been failure of but the root cause, the RCA process hasn't been followed, and it was just an engineer at the time went and fixed the issue then as well. You can get AI to shadow that engineer and basically have that there as a second pair of eyes, just to purely document what was going on, and then it can essentially generate for you what the root cause was based on what it's seen, what the engineer's seen, and all the data that it should have access to in the background then as well. So intelligent root cause analysis or AI-driven root cause analysis is going to be extremely beneficial going forward. Now, solo innovation with AI in low code and no code frameworks then as well. So it's important to work to a framework, even if you are building something that is going to be quick, nasty, and might only exist for days or weeks at a time then as well. There are certain frameworks that you should always sort of try to adhere to or try to get as close to when you're building anything then as well. So yeah, empowering solo engineers, AI and low code, no code platforms empower individuals to rapidly create prototypes within large teams then as well. But they should always have some kind of framework around them. So even if you're building something that's only for internal use, it needs to be security conscious and security aware then as well. You don't want you build an AI tool that's going to start opening up firewall ports to the outside world and exposing your infrastructure then as well. So there is an element of, I don't want to say restriction, but there is an element of control that needs to get applied to these kind of things then as well. Giving somebody a tool which has the ability to do massive damage is irresponsible. So that's why these kind of frameworks are important. But they should also not slow down progress then as well. If you want to rapidly prototype something in as well, your framework needs to have that flexibility to allow for it and essentially to, warn as opposed to stopping you dead. And then AI-driven assistance then as well. So yeah, I'm a big believer in using sort of like Cursor and Windsurfer out there and those kind of AI code agents then as well to massively speed up the time, because I'm decent at Python, terrible at Java, decent at SQL, but other languages I wouldn't have a clue at. But I built a lot of things in the past on Node.js, and I couldn't tell you how Node.js actually works. Essentially, I'm sort of reliant on these sort of coding agents with the correct framework and policies and procedures around them then as well, to sort of give me the reassurance that what I'm building can be deployed into our production environments without major risk being applied to it then as well. And not unlike any, like I've mentioned in the past, bottom-up innovation is by far the hardest one to achieve in any organization then as well. But it's typically the most common one because it's the engineering level that is experiencing these things on a day-to-day basis, and they are sort of boots on the ground. AI adoption changes organization. Yeah, I think I mentioned that already. So yes, let's talk briefly about AI in cloud, platform engineering, DevOps, and SRE, how it can sort of affect all of them then as well. So cloud and platform engineers, they manage the orchestration, the Kubernetes, the infrastructure as code, and the cloud native elements. And they want to reduce the toil and enhance automation then as well. DevOps is slightly different. DevOps is a bit more about applying AI to streamline the operational and improve incident response and the efficiency of it then as well. So yes, they are broadly similar, cloud and platform, more tied together. SRE and DevOps are a bit more ethereal and more sort of product driven or focus on slightly different elements. I think I've got this far and haven't really mentioned the architecture layer then as well. And architecture does play a key role when it comes to a lot of this, because architecture will be probably the most responsible for building those kind of frameworks and policies and procedures to allow engineers to use AI tools, but allow them with a certain amount of guardrails in place. AI tools and prototyping. So infrastructure architects and solution engineers focus on exploring AI tools and prototyping workflows for internal platforms then as well. Experimentation and operational excellence. So engineering management, and that's again middle management layer, cloud leads, again, depending on your organization. Experimentation drives operational excellence with emerging technology then as well. And innovation and cloud strategy. So this is real CTO kind of territory then as well. CTO and the executive level then as well. They should assess how to sort of foster innovation and integrate AI into driving these tools along with their cloud strategy overall. And the role of a solo builder and the innovators then as well in your organization. So solo builders are the ones going to be leveraging AI on a day-to-day basis to accelerate innovation as a full team to enable rapid development and for that experimentation, which is absolutely critical for any thriving innovative organization then as well. AI agents and orchestration is essentially the tools that you will be built, the tools that we built by SRE cloud platform and DevOps engineers then as well. And the agents assist to essentially solo innovators or management team to do complex tasks to boost productivity and creativity in your organization then as well. And lastly, I think I'm trying to summarize here. So AI-driven SRE transformation, solo innovation. So AI-powered automation, solo engineering innovation, cultural transformation are all three sides of the same coin then as well. Your AI innovation is what's going to be actually driving this cultural change and this revolution in your organization. The solo engineer is going to be the person actually identifying the issues, then building it, and then deploying it, and then importantly, owning it then as well. And cultural transformation, it does take time. It is really hard to get right in an organization as well. But when you've transitioned your culture to sort of an AI first organization that sort of embraces these technologies, embraces this innovative approach then as well, the speed at which you can do things, you can go to market quicker, and you'll be far more profitable and efficient then as well. Getting to that sort of cultural nirvana is definitely worth it. Empowerment and organization then as well. So yes, as an engineer, sorry, as a manager, you always want to empower your engineering team. As a CTO, you want to empower your engineering level, your engineering management level then as well. Empowering people sort of gives them the confidence they need to innovate and to try things that they've never done before then as well. It also makes people feel a lot more secure in an organization. It sort of rules out that kind of micromanagement and being extremely focused on the wrong things in your organization, giving people a bit of freedom then as well to experiment. Getting that creative juices flowing then as well is always going to help with the culture revolution in your organization then as well. I think I've said this many times in the past. SRE is not a title. SRE is a mindset. Essentially, it's that mindset of innovation and always wanting to improve what you see in front of you. And so yeah, there we go. In conclusion, automation out of your toil, getting rid of anything that you can do and being as streamlined as possible. Moving from the moving from the reactive to the proactive, empowering your engineers and transforming your organization and your culture. Thank you all for that. I'm going to stop sharing and move to questions if anybody has any. Oh, wow,
Thank
there's a lot
you.
going
Thank
on.
you very much, Daniel, for such an insightful session. I'll just quickly check if you got any questions across live platform. Also, I would love to request all the participants, please drop your questions in the chat box so we can take it. As we still have a time for the Q&A, which we are just starting with the Q&A, please drop your questions. All right. So, Daniel, I can read some questions which we have got through live platform. So, first question that we have got, Emily, she's asking, how do you balance AI-driven automation in SRE with the need for human judgment during critical incidents?
Yes, with critical incidents, you would try not to hand that over to an AI agent. Essentially, when it comes to sort of critical issues, you should always still have a human in the loop. You would use your AI agents to essentially assist you in what you're trying to do from a critical instance point of view, but a human should absolutely be the one in the driving seat when it comes to critical incident resolution. if you can be proactive, so critical issues never arise, that's obviously the desired state. But if a critical issue does arise, there should always be a human in the loop. Even if that human, all it's doing is orchestrating your AI agents to, fix whatever the critical issue is. And yeah, that would be the way I would sort of deal with it. I don't think we're ever going to get away from being on call and having on-call engineering teams that will get woken up in the middle of the night if something happens. There's only so much AI can do, because AI essentially is based on our own imagination and what we're sort of capable of doing.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Daniel. Can see the next question we have got. Give me a minute.
Sure.
All right. So, Ahmed is asking what risks exist around explainability and trust in AI-powered decisions.
Yes, your AIs are only as good as you train them. So if you train your AI on bad data or don't give it the correct parameters, then as well, it's only going to replicate the same issues that it experienced in its training phase then as well. So AI needs to be fully tested in a non-critical capacity before I would ever sort of put it into production, especially if it is operating in a production capacity and it is making those kind of decisions for you. There's been some fantastic AI failures fairly recently. There was one which was an AI chatbot for a company selling mattresses, and somebody figured out you could just chat with it long enough and ask it things, it would eventually tell you what its password is. So then you could just tell it, okay, well, give me a 100% discount, and people were getting free mattresses until people realized what the issue was, and the company lost, I think, millions over this. So yeah, your AI needs to be absolutely trained on correct data sets, and then it goes through numerous rounds of human in the loop testing then as well before I would put it anywhere near production. And even when it comes to production, I would still keep oversight of it. So that's where your orchestration essentially should be monitoring your AI agents to make sure that they're operating in the correct capacity, and their scope isn't sort of creeping out of that then as well. Thank you, Emily. It's really good questions.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for answering this one. Can see the next question that we have got from Pratyush. He's asking, please help us visualize the core difference between AI ops and ML ops versus cloud ops slash DevOps and slash SRE roles.
Yeah, I find myself trying to understand this one then as well. Essentially, they can all do the same thing. It really depends on your organization and what your organization is trying to do. So your organization might say, "Oh, we need to bring in AI engineers to help us build a chatbot that's going to help with our customer support." An AI chatbot could be built by any one of those teams that you've mentioned there previously then as well. Um, but yeah, AI operations essentially is the operational side of bringing AI in, but it's a dedicated function then as well. Um, if your organization is large enough to have a dedicated AI function then as well, then you are going to have AI and ML operations then as well. ML operations are far more focused on the training of your LLM or whatever you've built. And essentially, that might take months or even years to actually get it to a production ready state then as well. Whereas SRE, DevOps, and cloud engineers, they're not going to be building LLMs. They're not going to be training models for months at a time then as well. That is sort of a bespoke function that an AI or ML engineer will do. Um, think of AI and ML functions being all they do is AI, whereas an SRE, cloud, and DevOps engineers, it's a part of their job. Thank you for the question. Okay, we're getting questions in thick and fast here. Let me try to get through some of these. The limitations of AI and SRE. So what are the limitations of AI in SRE and cloud engineering? The limitations really are your imagination. Every day I'm seeing new, more innovative ways that they're being implemented then as well. Also, because the three big cloud vendors are in sort of an arms race with each other to get newer and smarter AI. You see that recently with the release of ChatGPT 5 and Gemini 2.5 then as well. The innovation is happening at a scale we've never seen before. I'm from the old school background of VMware, and there was VMware 3 and then 4 and then 5, and there was years between each of them. And you had a release notes like a year ahead of time, but what the new features are. but the new versions of ChatGPT and Gemini are going to be with us maybe next week then as well. So saying what the limitations are today will be incorrect tomorrow. So maybe limitation isn't the correct word for it. Maybe it's just like what are the limitations for it today, because it will be different tomorrow. So that's why you kind of need to own these tools. So if you do build some kind of AI chatbot or an AI agent, then as well, it could be powered using ChatGPT 3.5, and then it actually could be extremely better if it's using ChatGPT 5 then instead. So that's why these tools do need to go through the same kind of software development life cycle of any other application. Hello from Chad. What theoretical frameworks can unify reinforcement learning controls theory and distributions consensus to guarantee bounded downtime under AI-driven orchestration? Okay, so you're looking for a framework that can be used. Okay, well, there's plenty of frameworks for downtime resolution then as well. Ones that your organization should be built, and then there's plenty of frameworks for AI-driven orchestration then as well. Essentially, it goes back to, I think I mentioned during the talk then as well, that any agent you build should have the correct controls and parameters so that it sort of knows what its remit is and it knows what its limitations are, and that it can't do anything outside of that. And anything outside of that needs to have a human present, because if you give AI full control of your cloud environment and it reacts in a way that's unexpected or it hasn't been seen during its testing phase then as well, it can be extremely detrimental and probably counterproductive for your organization then as well. I don't know of a unified framework. I think that's actually something that could be quite useful to combine the two elements then as well. So yeah, really good question from Chad.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Daniel. Can see one more question that we have got across live. Uh, the Victor is asking, what's your approach to cost optimization when deploying AI-powered reliability tools in cloud environments?
Yes, AI inside cloud environments can be extremely expensive to the point where I know of a number of organizations that have started building physical data centers again and running their AI from the data center and not in the cloud environment then as well. So I know training LLMs is extremely resource intensive. You could spend millions retraining AIs. So there's two ways you can do this. You can buy a service. So there is lots of third parties, or you can partner directly with the likes of PwC, who are a ChatGPT reseller. You can go directly to one of the vendors and you can essentially use it as a hosted service directly from them, or you can essentially bring it offline, bring it back down onto physical infrastructure and train anything you want from your physical infrastructure then as well. If you don't need to retrain LLMs, if you use something that's out of the box then as well, then I will always try to use the latest model that you can, the one which requires the smallest token count. And then much in the same way that you do with any kind of cloud and DevSecOps, or sorry, FinOps kind of tooling then as well. Monitor usage, monitor how many licenses you need, monitor how much is being utilized by every engineer in your organization. And then every month then sort of, make positive changes to reduce then your costs and to monitor your cost and to also set limits on it then as well, because AI can be abused quite badly. There's nothing to stop an attacker or somebody with malicious intent building a bot that's going to hit a chat button millions of times per second, to absolutely chew up all your resources and cost you a lot of money. So yeah, you do need to sort of have that white hacker hat on sometimes, sort of try to get ahead of some of these things. Good question though. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. We'll be taking more last two questions for today, and they'll proceed with the closing. So I can see the another question that we have got from Michaela. The question is, how can we design AI models for SRE that remain invariant under adversarial drift in workload, topology, and telemetry streams simultaneously?
Yeah, it's a good question. So yeah, you want to train an AI model that's going to be sort of essentially aware of your metrics, telemetry of your organization then as well, and what your SRE team is doing then as well. So yeah, it depends on your cloud environment. If you're purely using sort of the built-in metrics, the likes of your CloudWatch or your Azure logging then as well, then yeah, you're going to have full access to all your logs in your organization, and then you can essentially output them into some kind of storage bucket and point your LLM at that data set, and it can learn from that data set then as well. And then you can also point it at your historic data set, so it can sort of become more contextually aware of what is normal and what is good in your environment then as well. And that will take a bit of time, and it will take a bit of human prompting then as well to make it aware of that. The SRE element of it then as well. So, like I think I mentioned there briefly, my SRE team everybody uses the same model, and we learn from that model. The model learns from us, and we make a conscious effort to essentially correct it or update it, and then we let it ingest in all our documentation as well. So it's fully aware of our ticket queue. It also looks at all our documents stored as well, where we store all our standard operating procedures and all our root cause analysis documents then as well. So it is contextually aware of essentially everything that the SRE team is doing. So from that, it sparks a lot of innovation. So you can query it and say like, okay, well, tell me what the most critical issues Stephen has worked on over the last year. So it's going to bring you up like the engineer Stephen, everything that he's worked on, the tickets he's been involved in, and then it's going to know the criticality of that based on the telemetry data then as well that it can see. So yeah, it's about connecting together all those different sources into one place.
Great. Thank you so much, Daniel. Can see the question that we have got from Emma asking how can AI-driven SRE system defend against adversarial attack, targeting, monitoring, and alternating pipelines?
Yes, so yeah, this is essentially a lot to do with anomaly detection. So yeah, we're assuming that our perimeter defenses and our router firewall or your being DDoS attacked, and that's been breached. So yeah, you're there's a number of ways you can do it. Essentially, anomaly detection will probably be your best bet. So if you are being attacked from somebody malicious, it's going to be unusual traffic, and it's going to be doing something different that it shouldn't be doing. Or if it's trying to run a deployment, it's going to maybe run deployment at an unusual time. So if all your deployments happen 9 to 5 during working hours, but you see this one happening out of hours, then you can put AI can sort of flag that as being anomalous and sort of pick up on the strange logic that's being applied there then as well. It does require it being consciously aware of historic events. So yeah, it's something that will need to be up and running for probably at least 6 months before it's actually in any kind of way useful. And then probably for the first probably months, it's going to be there just purely in a notification capacity, having no actual abilities then as well. But if it does pick up something, or it does notice that there's been, maybe a firewall port has been exposed at an unusual hour of the day, then maybe you can build in logic then where it can take proactive action and stop that firewall from accepting any traffic and switch to a different one. So yeah, it's all about pointing at the correct data, having it contextually aware, and it's really up to that SRE engineering team to find the way to implement it. Good question, Emma.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for covering all the questions. In case if we miss any question, would love to request all the participants, please do reach out to our speaker. I have already shared his LinkedIn profile link in the chat box. So we are stopping here as we have already done with the scheduled time for the Q&A. And thank you very much, Daniel, for amazing session. Thank you so much. So we are moving forward here. Before I could start with presenting my screen, would love to hear final thoughts from you, Daniel, for all our participants today.
Yes, well, first and foremost, thank you for the opportunity. I will always take any opportunity to speak about SRE and AI. They're my chosen field of choice. So yeah, I really appreciate the thought. To anybody out there that is aspiring to move into DevOps, SRE engineering, then as well, I would highly advise you to use platforms like this to upskill yourselves and get the right certificates you need. Pick a cloud platform and run with that then as well. Reach out to me on LinkedIn and YouTube then as well if you have any questions. I'd love to hear from the community. And thank you all for this opportunity today.
Thank you so much, Daniel. We'll definitely reach out to you again when we schedule this webinar series which aligns with your expertise. For sure. Thank you so much. And as I mentioned
Thank you.
earlier, that we do have some great announcement for all of you. So this is regarding the certification. As Daniel also mentioned that you can opt out for this to upskill yourself. So you can definitely grab this opportunity. We are providing the amazing discount code, which is valid for only next 24 hours. So you can use this promo code, which is DevOps20. You can opt out for any of the certifications, Certified Site Reliability Engineering Foundation, DevOps Foundation, DevSecOps Foundation, Certified DevOps Practitioner. So as you all know, these certifications are lifetime validated certification, which comes along with the learning resources, where you'll be getting a lot of case studies to work on e-learnings and book of knowledge. So the certifications are lifelong learnings, which comes along with the learning flexibility. And you'll be getting chance to connect with our training partner channel, and you'll be having an opportunity to work on the capstone project, that is real-time AI simulation practice. So isn't it great? Do grab this opportunity. As I mentioned, this offer is valid only for next 24 hours. I also would love to inform you all that we do have this utility tool where we are providing 100% off only for our webinar attendees. This is also going to be a for certain period of time. You can use this promo code, which is August 100, to get 100% off. So to grab this opportunity, this tool will help you to improve your LinkedIn profile score. It will help you to build your skill and your personal brand. So go through it. I've already shared the utility link along with the code in the chat box. And also, I'm very happy to make this announcement that we'll be having a next webinar series on GSDC Certified Learnings AI Leadership Mastery, which is happening next week. That is from 15 September to 19 September. And you can see we have this brilliant panel of speaker aligned for this entire webinar series, which will be having 60 minutes of session, impactful session, followed by 15 minutes of Q&A. So please do join us for the next webinar series also. And you all must be aware that we are running this AI tool challenge, which is scheduled for 28 days, which is started from 18 August with the time slot that is 10:30 a.m. Central, 11:30 p.m. Singapore time. So please do join us as we still have remaining challenges. We have already done with 17 challenges earlier, and we still have remaining challenges. So please do join us, as this is completely knowledgeable sessions going on with the live demos and practical walkthroughs on the AI tools. Also, you can refer your friends and colleagues to this session, and by doing that, you can earn reward that is worth $400. And also remember one thing: referring people to knowledgeable session, you're already taking a step ahead and you're becoming a thoughtful leader. And by doing that, you can enhance your credibility. And guess what? Top 3 winners will be featured on the GSDC Wall of Fame, and those professionals will be having a surprise gift from the GSDC, that is, will be getting back to you for the rewards. We do have these 3 winners. Let's congratulate to them. They have topped at our leaderboard by referring maximum people to our webinar series, and will be definitely getting back to them for the rewards. Also, if you want to be speaker for our upcoming events, you can be our featured global speaker, as we do have platform like Learning Capsule, webinars, and the podcast. We would love to connect with you all. You can scan this QR to get in, connect with us over the LinkedIn. You can explore our website to check all the offerings and the certifications that I've mentioned earlier. You'll find all the links in the chat box of the certifications. In case if you're looking for any certification to opt out, you can connect over the WhatsApp group to get daily update on the events and the webinars and the boot camps that we do have. And do not forget to share your session takeaway and the learning outcomes on the Trustpilot. Thank you everyone for joining us and supporting us throughout the session. I hope to see you all for the upcoming sessions as well. And until then, keep learning. Take care. Thank you very much, Danielle. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.